Psychology? Pfft. What a lame way to say. The science of brain stuff and people behavior. I guess that it's studying how the gray squishy goo in your noggin and all that weird human stuff in your weird meat suit can lead you to, talk and stuff and do stuff you regret. It's like studying the science of you being an idiot, basically. So, there's a few of those subfields, right? Behavioral neuroscience looks at how the gray gooey thing in your head controls everything you do. And experimental psychology looks at stuff like how your dumb monkey brain understands optical illusions, or how it feels pain, or maybe how to help you study better. But you'd have to do that part on your own, lazy whore. Yeah. And then there's developmental psychology, which is just how you grow up and boring stuff related to that, like your first steps and your first word. Health psychology looks at how emotions can make you sick. Clinical psychology is about figuring out and helping with weakling psychological problems like depression. And counseling psychology deals with helping people with everyday problems, like studying more effectively or figuring out how to get along with their roommates. As it turns out, many humans need other humans. Not me, obviously, but a lot of you. That's why social psychology is important, because it tries to understand how we interact with each other and how those interactions affect us. Like how cross-cultural psychology looks at how different cultures deal with problems. That's dumb people's behavior compared to a different group of dumb people's behavior. New psychology stuff is being investigated now. You got evolutionary psychology that looks at our past and how it affects how our brains work now. Behavioral genetics is another new thing. It looks at how genes and chromosomes control stuff like learning or being friends or even what we like in our romantic partners. And finally, you get clinical neuropsychology. It looks at mental problems like depression and ADHD and how they're caused by stuff in our brains. It's also brought new treatments to help deal with those problems. So hopefully they can fix you moron soon. Basically, there are a lot of psychologists out there, with about half of them being female. While the majority of psychologists are unfortunately as white as the light I went into when I died by hydraulic press, the number of minority psychologists is growing, but still needs to increase to match the growth of minorities in the population at large. Most psychologists have doctorates and many have master's degrees. When it comes to careers, it turns out that not every single psychology grad is completely useless. Yay! Some of those with psychology degrees work in social services, counseling, education, and business. They often work as administrators or serve as counselors or provide direct care. Others work in the fields of education or business or work for government agencies. So, that's a beginning overview of psychology, and I'll see you next time for more riveting brain facts.